SebTheNose is reviewing your levels today. SebTheNose is reviewing your levels today. You better watch out because he's coming your way. Cause he is reviewing your levels today.
What's up guys, today I'm going to be doing something that I really like doing but I haven't been able to do too much on this channel so far, which is just talking about Geometry Dash, what levels I like and don't like, etc, etc. I've been doing that a little bit with my tier list video and also my best and worst levels of the year video, but today I'm starting a series where I'll be talking about a specific creator and reviewing all their levels they've made. Now, I don't want this series to be too negative, I don't want to harass or bully anybody. I have a massive respect for all these creators I'm going to be talking about. But at the same time, this isn't really going to be 100% constructive criticism either. Maybe parts of it will be, but I don't really know much about building or making gameplay. It's mostly just going to be me sharing my opinion from the lens of a GD player. So yes, it is my opinion. If I don't like a level and you like it, or vice versa, then feel free to let me know in the comments. I promise I won't get mad at you. This is going to be different from my other discussion videos because this won't be necessarily based on enjoyment. I'm going to try and take a less biased, more review-like approach to these, but obviously it will be from my perspective. I did beat every single level in today's video before talking about them because I feel like you don't have a really full understanding of a level until you get those 10 stars. One last thing, the series is primarily going to be focusing on creators who make demons. It's just easier to talk about specific levels that way, and my discussion about the gameplay can be more in depth. I'll still talk about non-demons, I just won't go that far into them. So we are starting the series off with Zobros, who was very well respected in the 1.9 era as being a really great player, as well as a really popular creator, making some of the hardest and most iconic levels in the game. And where else to begin but chronologically with 9 circles. This level absolutely slaps. There's a reason it started the biggest trend in GD history, which is extremely popular to this day. Now, if you look at my completion of this level from a few years ago, you'll see I gave it a very low rating, which is basically just my wave crippled ass being a little bitch after having to play the level consisting of 50% wave. Also, the 9 circles effect triggers my Tourette's and it drives me insane. But putting my biases aside, this level's just cool. I don't think Zobros invented the effect, I'm pretty sure he drew inspiration from a few other creators, but they definitely didn't implement it as well as he did in this level. I don't think the gameplay is particularly that fun, at least not in the Big 25, but at the same time, basically every gameplay part in this level feels well thought out and unique, which is extremely impressive. I also think the original 9 circles has something that other circles levels don't. Despite being mostly wave, it still feels very well-rounded. I feel like new 9 circles levels just want to get to the wave as soon as possible, and then end the level right when the wave ends, which feels less complete. And don't get me started on those free pre-drops, some of these insane demon creators need to take notes from Problematic and Butterfly Effect. Overall, I give 9 circles a 9 out of 10. Next is my personal favorite Zobros level, Acropolis. Something that has always impressed me with Acropolis is the strong atmosphere and sense of tension which exists throughout the entire runtime of the level. It's extra impressive considering the entire level is half-time speed, which would make you assume it's extremely boring to play. But that's not the case at all. Every second of this level is nerve-wracking and intense, especially that build-up to the last wave. It's done so well. I think Zobros chose the perfect song for this as well. He built into it really effectively. I do have a few nitpicks about this level. The balancing isn't great, which can make it really frustrating to learn and play from zero. Not only is the beginning really hard for no real reason, I feel like the last wave could also use a bit more difficulty. It's effective as a stress test, but it can also come off as underwhelming, especially since nowadays it's the most iconic part of the level. What Acropolis did to it definitely doesn't help. I think Acropolis also popularized the tight corridor gameplay you see in levels like Hatred and El Dorado. All around, I just love this level. It definitely frustrated me when I first beat it, but even then I can still really appreciate it. 8 out of 10. Next we have Forsaken Neon, which is a classic for sure, but I wouldn't put it close to the last 2 levels. I think what stands out the most in this level is the visual designs. The consistent blue works really well with the song, and those hexagon beehive looking things will never not be iconic. This level really falls apart in the gameplay department though. Although I beat it in 2.1, judging off some of the top comments, this level really never was that fun, even in previous updates. The wave transitions and the ball at the end of the level hurt this one a lot. There's also a few inverted slopes, and that always sucks. The speed changes are kinda cool, but I can't help but feel like Speed Racer did it better in basically every way. This level was a collab with Triaxis, who couldn't even beat the level, so that might be a reason why the gameplay isn't the best. That's just an assumption though. I feel like if a new player discovered this level on their own, they'd never know it was iconic as it is, because although it does have some charm, there's not too much else going for it. 6 out of 10. Next is Swing Squad, which is a collab between Zobros, Giron, Havoc, and Orion. If you're wondering how I'm judging collabs, I still will be judging it normally since I'm assuming the level was toasted by whoever uploaded it and has the responsibility over it, I guess. I just don't want to skip over any levels that happen to be made by more than one person. As for Swing Squad, I didn't have huge expectations going in, but most of the level was pretty decent, except for the second half. The UFO, asymmetrical duel, and the wave in the second half are just not enjoyable whatsoever. It doesn't help that this level looks very generic for 1.9 and has an inconsistent visual style, which makes sense since it's a collab. The standout part is Havoc's, which exists, I guess. It doesn't really match very well with the rest of the level, but whatever. I think collabs were becoming more and more popular around this time, so making a level with the squad feels like more of a thing they were doing mostly for fun, and not necessarily an overly serious project, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't exempt it from criticism though, because it definitely could be more enjoyable or visually interesting. At least there is a swing copter in the level, even if it is only for about 3 seconds. 5 out of 10. Next is Clubstep Nightmares, which was the last of the Zobros demons I completed. I was pretty scared of this level because the pre-drop exists, but I ended up not finding it too bad. It's interesting this is a Clubstep remake that isn't really that chip heavy, if anything its timing's carried. My main problem with this level is that the balancing really sucks. It's nothing new for Zobros levels, but I think this level has it worse than Acropolis. Some of the easier parts are really boring in comparison, and I don't think the difficult parts are particularly well made. I know the original Clubstep has a memory ball, but in this level, the memory ball is one of the hardest parts, and it's kind of frustrating dying there a lot. Actually, I'd argue the other hard part in this level, the cube at the start, is also memory, so it's just weird having these random memory parts being super hard in a Clubstep remake of all things. At least the level does have a consistent style with these gray Clubstep monsters and their super cute cat ears. I didn't find this level terrible, but it really doesn't do anything to justify its existence. Sorry, Clubstep Nightmares, 5 out of 10. Next we have another classic, it's Ado, with gameplay by Zobros and decoration from Etzer. This is a pretty controversial one, and by that, I mean everyone who's beaten it hates it, and everyone who hasn't doesn't. It's super iconic, I'm guessing for the same reason High by Karmal is popular, because shitty gameplay looks cool, I guess. I definitely understand why this level's popular. Visually it's very clean, and the gameplay looks pretty satisfying. I have to specify it looks satisfying. The level mainly consists of a cube click sync pre-drop, say that 5 times fast, and then alternating ship parts with a lot of straight fly portals and orbs, and then super annoying, difficult UFO timing sections. Visually, it's very simple but effective. The designs and colors are distinct enough to set itself apart from a lot of 1.9 levels at the time, but the level just isn't enjoyable to play. I feel like the only real argument for this level is that it's good because it's iconic, as opposed to being iconic because it's good. I don't know, I'm just not a fan of this level. The song does make me extremely grateful that GD requires only one hand to play. 4 out of 10. Ultimate Demon Mix. Yeah, this level's absolutely awful. It's a mixed together medley of parts from other popular demons, including Supersonic, Decode, Cataclysm, yada yada yada, you get the point. There is just nothing remotely positive about this level I can say, aside from maybe a good song choice. It's really boring, unbalanced, unoriginal, and completely devoid of creativity. There is literally no reason to beat this level unless you want a free insane demon or want to relive some 1.9 nostalgia or something like that. I'm glad I beat the level after the bug at 83% was fixed, because I wouldn't have had a single ounce of fun otherwise, not like I had very much anyway. 1 out of 10. Now we have Luminum, which at least is a real level. This is the first 2.0 level, sorry, the first 2.0 demon that Zobros uploaded. We'll talk about that later. This level is weird. It looks like Zobros stuck the player inside a light bulb with a bunch of light bulb monsters. It feels a bit different from other early 2.0 demons. It doesn't have any moving gameplay, but it does have an excessive use of teleport portals and robot. Honestly, I don't find this level fun at all, but at least it is, in fact, not Ultimate Demon Mix. Visually, it looks really messy and gross. I guess it's consistent throughout the whole level though. Not really a fan of this one, but it has its place, I suppose. 3 out of 10. Finally, we have Love Baba, the last rated Zobros level. If you were happy Luminum didn't have any moving objects, don't worry, Love Baba's got you covered. Moving UFO gameplay, blind timings, invisible gameplay, it's got the whole package. I think the funniest part of Love Baba is that it looks like the second half is absolutely horrible, and don't worry, it is, but the first half is somehow even worse. The UFO gameplay is honestly worse than any of the UFO parts in Ado, it's absolutely insane. Honestly, I kind of like how this level looks in the first half, and if Zobros made a serious level in this style with the song, I probably would have liked it a lot. Unfortunately, he made Love Baba instead. And yes, I know it was made to be intentionally bad, but it doesn't make it any less bad. If anything, that's offensive to, you know, people who play Geometry Dash. I mean, it's a joke level, and it's not even really funny. When GD Ladder gives you a low score, you know you messed up. Yeah, this level sucks, 2 out of 10. Now we're done with the demons, which is what I want to primarily focus on in the series, but there are a few non-demons I'm going to quickly cover before I conclude the video. Atlas V2 was Zobros' first rated level, and it's a remake of Atlas by Funny Game. It's kind of funny knowing the creator who possibly made the most influential level in the game had his first rated level as a remake of someone else's level. All the designs are copied and the gameplay honestly might be a downgrade. I like the original a lot better. Zobros didn't even leave in the cool ball part where they have the same gravity. 4 out of 10. I mentioned this earlier, but Zobros' real 2.0 level is Well Then, which is Stereo Madness backwards. No, seriously, you're playing it backwards. Anyone remember that old map pack level Poltergeist Reverse? Yeah, that level's better than this one. You get absolutely no time to react to anything, and there are invisible platforms that you get to slide on, which completely throw off your game sense. It's incredibly frustrating. And on top of that, it's literally just a Stereo Madness copy with a few extra pads thrown in so that it's possible. I really don't have anything good to say about this level, 1 out of 10. And finally, there is Gravity Zero, which is a gimmick level where you're a ball moving slowly diagonally in a downwards motion with the ability to switch your gravity when you input. This level barely works. The input is sometimes delayed due to how the gimmick works with 2 balls, and sometimes the input goes through twice, even though you only click once. I beat this, but it was so painful because honestly this level is low-key demon difficulty. RobTop was not cooking with the 5-star rating. 2 out of 10. And that's all Zobros' rated levels. I wish I could talk about when caucus suck, but it's not rated. Oh well. Overall, I'm gonna give Zobros a 4 out of 10. He really cooked during the beginning of his creating career, but his newer levels have just not been as interesting, unique, or fun in my opinion. As I said, I can't build, so I respect anyone who creates demons. This was just me trying to talk about some of the levels I spent time and effort to beat, and Zobros is such an OG, so I wanted to start with him first, beating all his levels. Some other creators I might be completing would probably include Loltad, Woogie, Neptune, Vlak, Shoxidian, Heinz, Laserblitz, Manix, Subwoofer, Sodas, Michigan, Nox, and so many more. I'm super excited for those, and I hope you guys are too. Leave a comment if you disagree with me, I'm more than happy to chat, and aside from that, have a great rest of your day. SebTheNose is reviewing your levels today. SebTheNose is reviewing your levels today. You better watch out because he's coming your way. 'Cause he is reviewing your levels today.